Und weiter geht's mit Genshin. Yay. Bin gespannt, wie lange die Quest noch geht, weil mittlerweile würde mich die Archon-Quest schon so ein bisschen interessieren. Ich meine, in 10 Tagen ungefähr kommt Patch 2.2. Bis dahin würde ich halt ganz gerne dann so weit sein, dass ich dann direkt die Quest auch beenden kann. Einigermaßen zumindest.
Just as I thought, he isn't back yet. But not to worry, because actually, I've been hoping for a chance to have a nice long chat with you all day.
Oh nein, da muss ich ja reden.
Sorry for dragging you with me everywhere. Everyone's been so good to me, though. It's all gone really smoothly.
Feels like Paimon has barely spoken a word this whole trip.
Ist doch mal auch ganz nett, einfach nur zuzuhören. Ich meine, was anderes machen wir sonst auch nicht in den Quests. Von daher, stell dich nicht so an, Paimon. Du scheinst dich mit allen gut zu verstehen.
I felt like I was neglecting you guys, so I wanted to find an opportunity to catch up. When we first met, I was in a hurry. We didn't have the chance to sit down and have a proper chat. You guys are travelers, right? So, where else did you go before coming to Inazuma?
Mondstück, die Stadt der Freiheit, im Gegensatz zu eurem Land.
Ooh, sounds great! I heard they pretty much have no rules over there, right? So people are free to live their life however they want, doing whatever makes them happy. My pops actually received a gift from one of his old customers over there. It was from the winery or something.
Dawn Winery! Their dandelion wine is super famous.
Yes, that's the one. I remember when he drank it. I've never seen him enjoy a bottle of wine so much in his life. He was telling me all night about how good it tasted. My friend once said to me that only people with a strong will and a clear purpose decide to go traveling. Maybe it's to see a certain view or to fulfill a certain wish. So, what made you guys embark on your treacherous journey to Inazuma?
Um einen feindlichen Gott aufzuspüren.
And to find a lost family member, too.
You were separated from your family because of a god? Oh, that must be really tough.
Ich lerne langsam damit umzugehen.
I get it. Well, if that's how it is, then that's how it is. You know, I was going to ask if you guys wanted to stay here in Inazuma. Unlike the outside world, what Inazuma seeks is eternity. In other words, a state of tranquility where very little ever changes. The advantage of that is that if you're ever tired from your journey, Inazuma's a great place to come and rest. Let me put it this way. I was just worried that you might be getting weary. And if you keep pressing on in that state, you might start to lose sight of the things that made you want to start your journey in the first place.
Sometimes. That's also just how it is.
When you're exhausted, everything becomes an uphill struggle. Even trying to have fun. You won't be able to enjoy yourself if you're too tired. An adventurer friend of mine once told me that if you're too focused on reaching the end of the race, you'll miss a lot of opportunities and precious moments to be had along the way.
Ich werde das im Kopf behalten. Irgendwie hat sie recht.
Don't worry though, I'm sure I can think of some way to get you feeling relaxed and happy. And you're here now, so even if you're gonna leave eventually, I want to make sure you at least leave with fond memories. Who knows? Once you're reunited with your family, maybe you'll find Inazuma the right kind of place to call home.
Was? Ja, eventuell, wenn sie nicht mehr so viel blitzt. Ja, das zu meiner Liste der Kandidaten hinzufügen.
I already have an idea of the color and type of fireworks I want to give you guys. I'll keep it a secret for now, though.
Yoimiya, I'm back. Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's head over to the boat. Or, did you want to keep chatting a little longer?
Was mich halt so stört ein bisschen ist, dass bisher, abgesehen von Songdi, noch keiner wirklich einen zweiten Akt für seine Story-Quests hat. Ich meine, bei Amber kann man nette Nebenquests machen. Deluxe sowieso mit dem Abyss und Stadt beschützen. Manche sind vielleicht auch schwerer umzusetzen, aber grundsätzlich, irgendwie da fehlt so ein bisschen was. Wir sind gerade fertig geworden, wie es der Zufall will.
Okay, good. Let's go then. Just act naturally, though we don't want to raise any suspicion.
So wie du?
If it can withstand the storms out on the ocean, it must be super sturdy, right?
Absolutely. Rest assured that the quality is guaranteed.
Oder ist es von Anfang an manipuliert, damit es eben zerschellt und der Traitor in Anführungszeichen drauf geht. Kontrolliere das Boot. Aha. Das Ding hält nicht gerade viel aus, aber okay.
That's way too small.
Ich meine, kein Mast. Wir wollen über das offene Meer. Kein Mast, kein Segel. Ich würde damit nicht aufs Meer gehen. Auf den See vielleicht, aber nicht aufs Meer. Azuko? Wer zum Teufel war Azuko? Egal. Technisch ist es allerdings robust.
Can't be helped, I'm afraid. This is the biggest and sturdiest boat that I can provide. It's built from the finest Inazuman timber. Still, I'll be the first to admit that if he's planning to ride this into the storm, it's going to be exceedingly dangerous.
I'm also hoping Sakajiro won't have to use it. It's just there as a last resort. I gotta say though, Koichi, it feels like your craft has improved once again.
I'm not the one you should be praising. It's all thanks to the guys who kindly pitched in. To avoid detection, we each worked on our own materials separately, then assembled them secretly in the night. This is the largest we could afford to build. Any bigger and there's no way it would pass the Tenryou Commission's inspection.
Let's store the boat here for now then. I'll fill Sakajiro in when I get back. He'll need to make some preparations before setting sail.
Uh-oh. Paimon feels really worried all of a sudden. Doesn't helping Sakajiro make you a collaborator in the eyes of the Tenryou Commission?
Maybe it does, but I knew what I was getting into from the moment I agreed to help him. My family has pretty good connections with the Yashiro Commission. We work very closely with them, and whenever there's a national event of any sort, the other two commissions come to us too. As long as I'm polite and respectful and don't cause a fuss, they won't look to cause trouble for me either. And anyway, to your point about collaboration, you've been helping out too, right?
That's true. This was all a collaborative effort. Wait. Oh no!
Okay, mein Mikro war aus. Ich habe jetzt kurz geredet, eigentlich so 10 Sekunden. Und in dem Moment hat sich dann aber Streamlabs wieder gefangen. Gut. Das ist so nervig, wenn gerade im Moment, wenn ich halt stumm schalte oder nicht stumm schalte, immer wenn es dann halt hängen bleibt, ist es so nervig. Eieiei. Auch in Liebe wurden wir von den Eliten gejagt. Müssen wir auch in der Summe die Bösewichte sein? Irgendwie hat sie recht. Wir wurden, glaube ich, des Mordes angeklagt, irgendwie, aber egal.
Ah, so you're seasoned crooks already, eh? Don't know what I was worried about then. Anyway, thanks for everything, Koichi. And your fireworks are ready, so just go pick them up from my house whenever you want. While you're there, you can get my pops to settle the boat construction fees.
Oh, don't worry about paying anything. Third Sis would be sure to scold me if she found out I'd taken Mora from the Naganoharas.
Who's Third Sis?
Oh, let me explain this one. It's a story my pops told me. There used to be a thriving merchants guild in Inazuma. It got really prosperous. At one point, there were a dozen or so kids born around the same time to the families of the guild. They all grew up together, each of them learning their respective family's business. They were a tightly knit group of friends, but eventually, they all grew up and decided they each wanted to go into business themselves. It was inevitable that business would send them all to different corners of the world, and that they'd have far less opportunity to see each other in the future.
That's right. Just before we went our separate ways, the eldest of the group suggested that we should all go watch some fireworks together one last time.
They were all very ambitious types, and each had their own knack for doing business. One by one, they left, until Koichi was the only one of them remaining in Inazuma. After that, he hardly saw them. But whenever one of them did come back to visit, fireworks would always be involved.
Yeah, no matter how close you and your friends are, there's always gonna be some distance after being separated for a long time. But as soon as the fireworks lit up the sky, it'd instantly take us right back to our childhood, and we'd be chatting away like in the old days. To us, those memories are eternal.
Oh, so this is what you meant when you were talking about commemorating things.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's why I can't let people down when they're counting on me for their fireworks. Anyway, I need to go update Sakujiro. See you, Koichi. Thanks again for your help.
Yeah, I should get out of here too. I don't want to get caught red-handed.
Okay, er hat doch nicht Dreck am Stecken, aber er
story
kann so.
time. So, whenever Koichi brings one of his friends from the trade association to see me, they always mention how they used to play with me when I was a kid or held me once as a baby or something. But there are so many of them in that friendship group, and I don't remember anything from that age anyway, so I never have a clue who they are. One time, he shows up with another one of his friends, and the friend asks me if I remembered him. So I'm like, yes, I do. You held me once when I was just a baby. Koichi just bursts out laughing and says, actually, this is one of his carpenter friends. Turns out he's a lot younger than he looks. Just a few years older than me. I went bright red and must have apologized like a million times. It was so embarrassing.
Ach ja. Ach ja, solche schönen kleinen Peinlichkeiten, die ganz zufällig dann passieren. Man denkt, man handelt richtig, weil man Gefühle nicht verletzen will und dann, naja, dann sowas. So schön ausgetrickst. So, ich hoffe, die Quest geht nicht mehr so lange, weil ich will eigentlich jetzt wieder A-Connection haben, so ein bisschen. Nichts gegen die Sidequests an sich, aber so ein bisschen, ja. Das zieht sich halt schon. Ans Fenster klopfen.
The boat is ready and waiting. I'll mark the location for you on the map. Before you leave, I recommend that you pack some food and water. You can never be too prepared.
Die Frage ist, wie lange dauert die Schiffsreise von Inazuma bis nach Liyue? Wenn ich die Map angucke, reicht ein Tag. Aber theoretisch müssen es mehrere Tage sein, wenn nicht sogar eine Woche oder länger. Aber egal.
After how much effort it took to get back in, it's hard to convince myself to leave again. Especially when I'll be going up against the stormy ocean on a tiny little boat. My prospects don't look great.
Well, they won't look much better if you get caught by the Tenryou Commission. I'm afraid that sooner or later they are going to find you here. Time is starting to run out.
I'm sorry. I'll make sure to get out of here before they come. I promise I won't cause you and your family any more trouble.
I didn't mean it like that. If we ever ran into any problems, I'm sure I'd figure something out. But if the Tenryou Commission does catch up to you, then make a run for the boat.
Okay, I won't let them catch me. But... no, I guess this whole trip was a waste in the end.
Why did you want to come back to Inazuma anyway? Is there something you wanted to do?
I didn't used to like this place at all. That's why I left. But looking back on things now, I was really just running away from my responsibilities. Once I started to realize that, I got restless. I couldn't stop thinking about the people and the things I'd left behind. So I... forget it. What does it matter now? It's too late anyway. I originally wanted to make up for all my regrets, but instead, I found myself in the situation I'm in now.
What a pity.
Talk to us about it. Maybe we could...
If only there was no Sakoku decree, huh? Anyway, don't worry. We're not going to bother you about it. We'll keep trying to buy you as much time as possible until you reach your final decision. The Tenryou Commission. If only they weren't so overzealous, there might be a way. Oh, that's right! That elderly couple, old customers of ours, their son's in the Tenryou Commission, isn't he? Yeah, quite high up as well. That's it. I'll go talk to them. Maybe they can do something.
Are you sure they won't just report me instead?
Oh, don't worry about that. They're really nice people. I know them well. They won't cause us any issues. All right. You should get back indoors, Sakujiro. We'll be back in no time at all. Okay, let's go. Time waits for no one. Wait, hang on. What about the fireworks? All those materials? There's so many orders to finish. Pops! Pops! No, never mind. I know. I'll write him a note telling him to sort out the fireworks.
Mir benötigt schreiben, bla.
Why did you cut Paimon off earlier?
Because what he needs isn't an answer, just time.
Ein Funken der Hoffnung. Besucht das alte Ehepaar und bitte um Hilfe. Aha. Bin übrigens auch gespannt. Angeblich ist für 2.2 geleakt worden, dass Gunyon einen Rerun bekommen soll. Weil man sagen muss, Rerun ist zumindest jetzt in der Anfangsphase des Spiels ein guter Begriff. Wenn das Spiel irgendwann größer ist und noch mehr 5-Star-Charaktere bekommt, dann, ja, irgendwann können sie halt nicht mehr von Rerun reden, sondern von Weekly oder, Zecke, der 2 Weekly, wie auch immer, Paarungen, keine Ahnung. Es ist halt irgendwie so ein bisschen blöd, davon zu reden, dass es, Reruns sind, weil, klar, natürlich, der Charakter ist halt nur in dem Banner dann verfügbar, aber gleichzeitig laufe ich eigentlich. Ich kann mich porten. Gleichzeitig muss man halt auch sagen, irgendwo, wenn es halt irgendwann 30 5-Stars sind, wenn dann ein 5-Star immer nur für einmal im Jahr verfügbar ist. Nee, das können sie auf Dauer nicht machen. Gerade weil es auch noch die 5 Standardcharaktere halt gibt. Also die 5 Standard 5-Stars. Manche wollen halt vielleicht auch diese Leute hochbringen, weil Leute wie Diluc sind halt nie schlecht und auch nie gut. Diluc ist jetzt nicht Top-Tier, aber er ist jetzt auch direkt über jedem Forster halt. Er ist jetzt solide. Weil er kann relativ simpel halt Pyro-Attacks machen. Mit einer besseren Chain als so manch anderer. Klee. Ja. Aber egal. Passt schon. So. Das ältere Ehepaar. Das Pärchen. Imatani, Saburo und Kaori. Noch die jetzt, oder? Ja, okay.
Well, if it isn't Yoimiya. Come on in, dear. Come and take a seat. Are these two your friends?
Yes, they're travelers from afar. Outsiders have a very difficult time getting into Inazuma nowadays.
Indeed, these are unprecedented times. But seeing as they came all this way, we locals should give them a warm welcome.
Oh, before I forget, I brought the fireworks that you ordered.
Oh, thank you, dear. Your family is so good to us every year. First your father, and now you. I wonder if I'll still be around to see the next hair of Naganahara fireworks.
Mir fällt gerade mehr auf. Das hat eigentlich viel mehr was von Nordkorea mit Eingangs-Ausgangssperre. Ich meine, es basiert auf Japan, hat aber aktuelle Situation von Korea. Also Nordkorea halt. Interessant.
Of course you will. You're both in great health. Don't say things like that. It's bad luck.
We aren't as young as we once were, though. The body knows it. It used to be that I could spend all day working the land, carrying water back and forth. But now, even a moment of light work leaves me with all sorts of aches and pains. I wanted to do some weeding yesterday, but as soon as I bent down to get started, I suddenly felt that if I went any further, I wouldn't be able to get back up again.
No worries. Say no more. We'll handle it.
No, no, no. We can't be putting you to work when you're a guest in our home. I'll just go fetch the tea and some snacks, and then we'll continue our conversation.
It's fine. It's not like it's the first time I've helped you with chores. I just haven't had much time recently with the fireworks show coming up. But once that's out of the way, I'll be sure to come by more often.
It's no trouble, really. We don't mind helping.
Oh, you're such good kids. As for mine, he's all grown up now. Hasn't found anyone yet. And he doesn't visit very often. If you're quite sure it's no trouble, then I have some pickled radish here. Would you mind delivering it to Satoru on the other side of the village?
Sure. It won't take us a moment. The old folks aren't very mobile, so come on, let's help them out. We'll get rid of the weeds first and then deliver the pickled radish.
Wow. Wir sind einfach mal wieder typischer Gärtner. Kann ich auch einfach... Kann ich. Ah. Da ist noch einer.
Yeah, you got it. should just about do it. Satoru is on the other side of the village. Let's go see him now.
Natürlich komme ich so nicht aufs Dach rauf. Egal.
Useless.
Satoru, hi.
Hey, Satoru. How have you been? Keeping well?
Yeah, same as usual. Not much has changed. You're looking full of life, as always.
All thanks to the support of our loyal customers. The family business just keeps getting better and better. We sold some fireworks to Liu a while back, and word is they were a real hit. So it looks like we'll be getting more business from over there in the future.
That must mean a lot more work for you, though. Are you sure you and Mr. Ryunosuke can manage? If it gets too much, don't forget, you can always ask me for help,
We should be fine. I think we can cope. Oh, yeah. This is some pickled radish from Mrs. Imatani.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. I never used to be a fan of pickled radish, would you believe? But then I tried some of Mrs. Imatani's homemade stuff and I couldn't get enough of it. It's a family staple now.
Speaking of your family, how's everyone doing?
They're doing well. We have the occasional heated argument, but I guess that's every family ever. Being close to family is better than never getting to see them, even if it does mean putting up with some conflict. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Imatani seem to have a great relationship, but still, they must get lonely with their child never visiting.
Huh, they didn't seem that way to me. I think they're just used to it. You make a good point, though. I should drop by more often in the future. That way, they won't get so bored.
Oh, I'm sure they'd love that, as would all of us in Konda Village. You're always welcome here.
Thank you!
Okay.
Now that we finished all the chores, it's time to talk to the Imatanis about Sakujiro.
Aber die haben kein gutes Verhältnis zu ihrem Sohn. Von daher, das wird wahrscheinlich in die Hose gehen. Ach, hier ist das Häuschen von denen. Hi.
That was quick. Ah, young people are so handy.
Younger people have bundles of energy, and older people have a wealth of wisdom. Each have their strengths.
Speaking of youth, do you know what? It's been 50 years this year.
Oh, so it has. Goodness, how the time flies. You barely notice as the years go by, but then suddenly 50 years have passed.
50 years since what? Some important day?
Well, if you must know, it was 50 years ago, back in the days when this young lady was still trying to win me over, that...
Oh, stop trying to impress them. We both know you were the one who was hopelessly smitten and desperately trying to win my affection.
Well, maybe you're right. 50 years ago, I proposed to my wife at the Naganahara fireworks show. We've been together ever since.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch an euch beide.
To tell the truth, I was still a little uncertain. I wasn't sure what I was doing when I walked into the Naganahara's shop and ordered my firework. Even as it was rising up into the sky, I still had no clue what I was going to say. But then it exploded, the sky lit up. I looked back at her and saw her eyes twinkling in the light of the fireworks. Before I knew what was happening, apparently, I'd already said it. And, well, she'd said yes.
50 years. In some ways, it's a long time. In others, it's no time at all. Really, it's just a number. But 50 years of being together, now that is something worth commemorating.
I had no idea it was your 50th anniversary. If I'd known, I would have made some extra fancy fireworks just for you.
Oh no, it's quite all right. We always set off the same firework every year. It wouldn't be the same without it. Seeing that firework go off takes us right back to those days. Even at this age, we still look back with not a single regret.
Ah, what a great relationship they have.
Enough about us, though. Yoimiya, aren't you busy with the fireworks show coming up? Was there something you needed to discuss?
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to talk about, but here goes.
Bla 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 bla.
Sakujiro. So he came back.
Huh? You know him?
He was our boy's best friend when they were young. They were inseparable. They grew up together, shared everything with each other, and went everywhere together. But one day, they had a terrible argument.
Sakujiro seemed to feel that Inazuma was too peaceful, and wanted to see what the outside world was like. But our Keisuke took after his father and mother. He felt that there was nothing wrong at all with being peaceful. You know what children are like. They get terribly worked up about these sorts of things. In the end, Sakujiro stormed off, and that was that.
I see.
Keisuke said nothing to me or my wife about the fight. We could sense that he was very hurt by it, but he didn't want to talk with us about how he was really feeling. Eventually, whether out of pent-up anger or for some other reason, he joined the Tenryou Commission. He rarely comes home anymore.
If it was anything else, I could talk to Keisuke, and I'm sure he'd be willing to help. But since it's Sakujiro, I don't feel there's any way we can get involved.
What a strange coincidence. Who'd have thought?
I understand now. When I asked Sakujiro why he came back, he just said because of past mistakes and wasn't willing to elaborate. Now I finally understand why he can't decide what to do.
Two best buddies in childhood. One grows up to join the Tenryou Commission, the other grows up to join the Tenryou Commission's most wanted list.
Ich denke, das ist Schicksal.
Well, no worries. If that's the case, then never mind. We can find some other way to help Sakujiro. There's no need to make things difficult for you. This sounds like something for Sakujiro and Keisuke to resolve between themselves.
Yes. It'd be so nice if they could go back to the way things were.
I think after all these years, they ought to let go of their grudges.
Well, can't say we didn't try. I'll let Sakujiro know after we get back.
Okay. Gut, ich habe 27, fast 28 Minuten. Ich würde sagen, es sieht jetzt fast nach Finale aus. Dementsprechend würde ich jetzt nochmal einen Cut machen. Notfalls kann ich halt zusammenschneiden, aber das wird zumindest ein Gespräch mit Sakujiro sein und dann wird man noch den anderen treffen wahrscheinlich und dann Happy End. Irgendwie sowas. Dementsprechend habe ich mal raus und sag wieder ciao und bis dann.